So this is a surprise haul. It's a surprise because I wasn't expecting it. Like, honestly, it was a surprise that I actually finally got it done. I should have gotten this done a couple of years ago. But let me explain. So a couple of years ago, my grandpa passed away. And amongst the other things that I was able um, to get from him to remember him by, like a lot of books, some of my pieces, some art pieces that are on top of my bookcase. I also grabbed movies because that would like one of the things that I really loved was watching movies with my grandpa and talking about movies with him, because he watched a lot. Like, he loved watching westerns, he loved watching like war movies. And because of my grandma's influence, before she passed away, and what definitely continued on was his a growing love for Hallmark movies. And so we would we would go in depth on which actors we like what actors we liked, what plots, what plot types, what plot tropes we liked, what movies we liked in the home throughout the Hallmark catalog. And good times. But unfortunately, none of these movies are Hallmark movies, but it's fine. No, it's totally fine. So when he passed, I grabbed the movies, and at like just getting caught up in life, the movies kind of were just sitting there in both paper bags as well as a binder, because actually a lot of the movies weren't in the case. The paper bags held the cases, and a lot of the movies weren't in the cases, they were in the binder that I had put together for him when he moved into the assisted living home where he stayed during his final year, and so that he would have an easier time of being able to choose what movie he wanted to watch next. And so finally, after 2 years, I sat down with my dad and put all of the movies back into their cases, and then we went through and decided what movies my dad was going to keep for his and my mom's collection, what movies I would keep, and what movies that neither of us were really interested in, and what we would try to see if other family members might like, or if we were going to donate them. So I gave my dad got first pick on all of the things, and that's totally fine. I still came out with a lot of really good movies that I'm excited about, and what I got is about half of what they got. So it was good. But to start it off, I actually now have the theatrical copy of Gettysburg, the one that how my grandpa introduced me to the movie. So I'm excited. I love that I have, because I had just made the video, and I say just made, literally a little bit before filming this. So I love that I have the director's copy, but I also love that I now have the theatrical version. It's not that I didn't think I would get this, but I had a thought, but I wanted to also get the director's cut, which is why I have both now. So yeah, and so now I can watch both, and I can especially watch the theatrical version and remember my grandpa. So next up, so he had the 3 DVD collection of Andre Rieu. Unfortunately, which I've never seen any of these, and I'm really excited to watch it, because they're while they're mostly like, there's a great number of songs that I don't think I've ever heard of, or at least if I have heard of them, I don't recognize the name. There are still a good number of songs that I have heard, and so I'm excited to hear them be performed. Unfortunately, this disc is missing, which means I now need to hunt down this particular copy so that I can be able to add it and have a restored collection. But I honestly, like, I searched through the binder. I could not find it. I couldn't find it in any of the other cases. It's possible that it just disappeared a long time ago. But it may or may not have been a good thing, because there happened to have been a DVD in the binder that the case was missing. And so now it's its temporary home. So the movie that this is holding right now is Hawaii, which was an MGM movie from 1966. I don't think I know anything about this movie except that kind of looks like Julie Andrews' profile, but I need to check. I think it probably is. But yes, I don't know anything about that movie, but I do like MGM movies, so it was a quick grab. The other, just for the sake, the other two are in Andre Rieu in Wonderland, and then The Flying Dutchman. So I'm really excited about both of those. So that is that, and the fun has only just begun. All right. Okay, so next up, this. So this is, I have no idea if this works. I really don't. I didn't even know. Anyway, doesn't matter if I didn't know. So it's His Private Secretary, 1932, John Wayne. No idea if that works or not, but that'll be interesting. Also, I'm super excited about this. It's the Disney Vacation Secrets Revealed for the Disney Vacation Club. I don't know what year this is. I don't know how old this is. I am so excited to watch this. You have no idea. I love commercial filmography. Is that what it's called? That's like how I think of it. But is that actually how it's called? Like, I love seeing like the really crisp cut, like beautiful just beautiful shots that they get in videos like this. I actually used to have, I don't think I have them anymore, and now that I think about that, that makes me really sad. I know I probably have them somewhere, but I used to have, like, in the early to mid 2010s, I had a few of the Disney like the Disneyland vacation DVDs that you could order. And yeah, I don't know if I have those anymore. That makes me now sad. Anyway, moving on. So next up, I have no idea what this is. I think it has something to do with the Beach Boys. It's a Steve Morris film called Look a Yellowbird. And one, I wanted to check it out, because why not? But also, I wanted to hang on to it, at least because it was signed to my grandparents. So I kind of wanted to keep that, at least until I can do, like, if anything, like, eventually just keep the cover if I don't like the video. No, I really do want to keep it, like, if only to remember them. So next up is, these were both LDS created videos that I have watched and I just didn't have my own copies of, and so I grabbed them. So the first is Finding Faith in Christ, and then the second is Joy to the World. And I've seen both of them. Like, I really like the Finding Faith in Christ. I love, which, like, for me is, like, up there with, like, how I feel when I watch The Chosen. Like, oh, so good. Anyway, all right, that is that. Now it's time for the rest of the fun. Okay, so we have Superman Returns. I have Superman the original movie in digital, but this makes my first Superman movie that I own in physical. I have seen this and I do enjoy it. I just hadn't bought it yet, and now I don't have to. And it's a widescreen. I love that. Okay, next up is Elvis in Blue Hawaii. My grandpa was a big Elvis fan. Though the fact that this is his, I think this was the only Elvis movie that he owned, which surprises me now that I think about it. Doesn't matter. But I've seen a number of clips from other Elvis movies. So I grabbed this because I thought it could be fun. I have no idea what it's about or what I'm in for, but I'm excited to check it out. Okay, next up is the Pink Panther. So we've got the Pink Panther, A Shot in the Dark, and the Pink Panther Strikes Again. My parents I think they have the full collection of Pink Panther movies, and I've never watched them. I should fix that. But it'll have to wait until I get caught up on some movie projects. But regardless, I'm very excited to have these now, and I probably will make the Pink Panther a big focus in coming weeks and or months. All right, next up is The Ride, Back to the Soul of Surfing. Well, specifically just called The Ride. My grandpa introduced this to us, I would say 2+ years before he passed. I think maybe even as close to a year, sometime before. And I thought it's such a cool concept because it takes you back in time to 1911 Hawaii, and it's all about surfing, and it just I enjoyed watching it. It was a good time. So then I got The Discoverers, which was originally created for exhibition in IMAX theaters. I don't know if I've ever heard of this. Possibly have, probably not. But I do like documentaries, and I do like documentaries that are about I don't know, that go cool places and see cool things. So I'm excited to watch this. No idea what I'm in for, but it could be fun. All right, next up. So this is something else that I'm pretty sure my grandpa, it was probably given to my grandpa. I don't know. My grandpa, my family is LDS, I'm LDS, and my grandpa was also, and he served 2 different missions, both in Samoa. The first being in the mid 1960s, I believe 1960, 63 to 64. I think those were the right years. So if you ever listen to the music of the Elders, that was his music group that he performed with while he was on his mission in the mid 60s. They went around performing at different at firesides and whatnot, and across, not just in Samoa, but across I think in Tahiti, in the Hawaiian Islands, but anyway, so I think this is a concert, or at least just a collection of songs, of Samoan songs. So I'm excited to listen to it because my grandpa had a great love for the Samoan people. I believe he remained fluent in the Samoan language from the mid 60s through the rest of his life. And so anytime that I watch something or hear something or see something that is from Samoa, it reminds me of him. Okay, so there's that. Then I've got Saints and Soldiers, which I have seen, and it is a good movie. And I just haven't had my own copy, so now I get to have it. All right, next up is The Great Escape. Now I have seen this a number of times, but the first time I watched this, I think I was around 8 years old. And the reason I was watching it was because at the time, 8, maybe 9, I don't know. It was early 2000s. At the time, Hallmark and the American Girl Company were doing a collaboration where you could go to a Hallmark location and you could get this activity book. And it was an activity book for each, like, where there was like you could choose like one or two things for each of the different historical characters and do those activities, and then you could get them, like, you could get that put into charms for a bracelet, or no, you would get, like, you could get pins, and then you would get like a necklace if you complete the whole thing. I just remember completing the thing, and it was fun. I wish I had the booklet, because that, like, it was cool. But The Great Escape was for Molly. I think you had, it was one of the options, like, you had to watch like a World War II era movie, or a World War II specific movie. And so The Great Escape was the one that I chose. Or when I asked my parents, I'm like, what should I watch? And they're like, this is a good movie. And it was. So I'm glad that I have my own copy of it now. Next up is The Crusades, Crescent and the Cross, from the History Channel. I mean, it's a documentary, and I like documentaries. I have no idea, other than seeing a bunch of different Robin Hood adaptations. I don't really know much about the Crusades, but I'm hoping that I at least get to, like, as it says on the back, I mean, they will at least show Richard the Lionheart. So I'm like, okay, there's my connection. No, I am excited to see what, like, how it's done, and like how the documentary is done, and what they decide to focus on. So it'll be fun, I hope. All right, next up is Twister. I love Twister. Twister is one of my favorite movies of all time. I do have it on DVD, but it's a Blu-ray copy, and I like a Blu-ray copy. I also like DVD copies. So this will be nice to just add to my collection, so that regardless of, as you can see, the case has been getting dusty. It'll just be nice to add to my collection. So next up is Silverado, which I actually do have it in as a digital copy, but it's one that I really enjoy. I love the cast. I love the music. It's just a fun time all around. So I'm really happy to have my own copy of it now. My own physical copy of it now. Okay, next up. I'm almost so many movies. Actually, so I hadn't quite been planning on doing this, like, the organizing, the divvying up, and figuring out what movies that I was going to add. So I had reorganized all of my binders because I bought some new binders, and when I organize them, because I go alphabetically, so I've got I have two binders for my DVDs, and I now have a binder that's specifically for Blu-rays and 4K movies, just because it's easier to keep them separate. So if I'm wanting to watch something on my DVD player, I can quickly see what DVDs I want to choose from, rather than having to flip through different pages that are mostly, if not all, Blu-ray movies that wouldn't, of course, work on my DVD player. And I was so excited, and I was so proud of myself, because I had figured out an estimate of what movies, of how many discs were going to be coming in the movies that I had ordered online. So I left space for them. And now I have all of these. And so I have to do it all over again. It's a good Sunday activity, I think. No, anyway, though. Okay, so almost done, though, for reals. So next I have Meet Joe Black. And actually, this, I'm really, like, I keep meaning to watch, because especially in my grandpa's final year, this was a movie that he would mention a lot, and I still haven't watched it, but now I can, and I'm and I will actually, like, I will find the time. Even more so than going into Pink Panther, partly because with Pink Panther, I want to kind of like because it's part of a collection, I want to just like, I want to watch all of them. This one will be a lot easier to be able to work in because it's a single movie. And I'm really excited. And I am I know I say really excited a lot, but I am really excited to have a physical copy of this now. Okay, next up is The Turtle and the Shark. It's a Samoan legend. I have no idea what to expect, but I'm excited to see it. And yeah, I think it'll just be like light and fun. Hopefully. The Turtle and the Shark, like, nothing too scary with that, right? No, I'm kidding. All right, so next up is Medicine Man. This is another movie that I do like, and I have it in digital, but I don't have it in physical, and so now I do, and that's great. I love Sean Connery. He's great. All right, the last two. So first is She Wore a Yellow Ribbon. Ta-da! With John Wayne. This one I keep seeing when I'm on like some of the streaming platforms that I use for my digital movies. Well, the ones that I use for my digital movies, and then like I use Canopy as well, amongst others. And so I see this movie title a lot. So I've never watched it, but now I have it, and I'm excited to check it out. I have no idea, other than like skimming the blurb right now, which isn't really gonna help me because I'm not really it's not getting into my head. I have no idea what it's about, but it could be fun. No, I'm excited. All right, finally, one of my favorite movies, Sneakers. I love this movie. Also, it's a collector's edition, and it's widescreen. I didn't pay attention to when I picked this up because my parents already had Sneakers. They already have Sneakers, and so I was able to get it. I didn't pay attention to the top. I didn't pay attention to the bottom. I just saw the title. But it's a collector's edition and widescreen. It is the best of all the things. But it really is. This is such a good movie. I'm only, with Robert Redford's passing this year, I'm only starting to hear now that this is actually one of considered to be one of his underrated movies, that not that many people have seen it, and that surprises me because it's one of my favorite movies, and it's one part mainly, and I actually was talking to my parents, my mom, about it, and because both of my parents like it, that's why we would watch it so much. And that makes sense. But yeah, I highly recommend, if you haven't seen it, you should really watch it because it's so good. It's got such a great ensemble cast. Could not recommend this more. Yes. All right. So that is the last. That is the to see the full stack. These are all of the new movies that I am adding to my collection. Or ones that I've never had the physical copies for. So yeah. This was my surprise haul, and I really now will not the next time I do a haul, it really will be for the October one. And I won't, now that I think about it, I'm not going to include these in that, because even though I am bringing them in, adding them to my collection in October, I technically have had access to them for the last couple of years, and I could have done this a lot sooner, and I just didn't. So I'm not going to count them as an October ad, but they are still a surprise haul. They are a weird thing. That's what they are. No. But yeah, so thanks for watching.